He was very confident when I gave him the ticket, the key. He knew exactly where the tickets are.
Everything seemed legit, so this man had no problem giving his car to the valet. The only problem? The valet clerk was a phony. Viral video from this motorcycle rider is proving chivalry is definitely not dead. And it's the hottest Broadway show in town, but you have a shot at seeing Hamilton for only $10 a ticket. 11 News at 10 starts right now.
Officers, please clear the room. Recess. Officers, please clear the room. The board will now go into recess.
Breaking news, what started out as a HISD board meeting about the future of struggling schools turned into chaos when the board closed the meeting, kicking everyone out. Some parents even had to be dragged out.
Those parents are upset that their kids' schools might be handed over to a charter organization.
So let's get right to Lauren Tallarico with what's happening right now. Lauren?
Hi guys, well, I'm having a hard time hearing you because a chant just started behind me, you can see, but this has been a rowdy meeting to say the least. The frustration began before the meeting even started when they were in closed session for 2 hours, and then during the meeting you could see the frustration building as those signed up to speak were begging the board not to hand over control to the charter organization. Okay, well, everyone who spoke tonight was very passionate about what was going on. They called the move racist, targeting black and brown schools, and asked the board to sue the TEA. Many audience members specifically pointed to the black board members and promised to vote them out of their seats if the votes passed. Now, once the board closed the meeting and went back into closed session, people refused to leave. Some were dragged out by police. I'm told that 3 people were detained. 1 may have been arrested. Now, these 10 schools have been underperforming for years, and if the board votes to partner with this charter organization, it could prevent the schools from closing and also stop the state from taking over the board. Now, as for when the board will vote after tonight's chaos, I'm not sure, but we will keep you posted. I can tell you right now, the president, Rhonda Skiller Jones, just came to the door, and it appears is addressing people. I'm going to go head over there as soon as we're done with this live shot, and I'll update you, keep you posted.
All right, Lauren Tallarico, thanks so much. And also breaking tonight, the man wanted in the shooting of 2 Dallas police officers has just been arrested after a police chase. Armando Juarez was on the run since the shooting at a Home Depot this afternoon. The officers were helping serve a warrant. A store loss prevention officer was also wounded. One officer is in stable condition tonight. The other is critical. Doctors were keeping him alive until his mother got to the hospital. Both officers are only rookies in their 20s. Again, the suspect, Armando Juarez, has been arrested. More details as we get them on the KHOU 11 app. Well, usually when you hand your car keys over to a valet, you get your car back. But that's not what happened to a man in downtown Houston. He gave his keys to a guy pretending to be a valet worker, and the man stole his car. Making matters worse, the real valet company and the apartments say it's not their problem. Levi Ismail is live in downtown Houston to explain, okay, what next here, Levi?
Well, there's no better reminder of how cautious you have to be before you hand your keys over to anybody. But you have to think of just how brazen a move this was. This fake valet driver handed this real ticket to a driver at pretty much completely absolved this valet company from any wrongdoing for the car that this gentleman was just about to steal.
I've been parking here for a long time.
And with this traffic, why not valet? I mean, you skip the headache of parking, but there's nothing convenient about the last 24 hours for Bowman Mehta.
Nobody's willing to help me, so I'm kind of frustrated.
Every day, Mehta has handed his keys over to the Rice Loft valet across the street from work. Monday was no different.
There was a gentleman standing right by that podium, and I gave him the key, and he opened the left drawer and pulled the ticket and gave me this valet check.
Nothing out of the ordinary except for the fact this guy wasn't valet.
He opened the door, pull the ticket and tear it apart and give it to me. So I don't question when he knows exactly where the tickets are. And that's what happens every time when I park the car.
Houston police say they spotted the man on surveillance posing as valet, even wearing all black. Making matters more complicated, a new valet company had just started at the hotel, so Mehta had no idea who to expect.
I don't think I'm going to get the car back, but I'm thinking about option to really file a lawsuit or sue or find a good lawyer.
Now, the city tells us that valet services like these are required to have insurance, but the question remains, does this insurance cover whether or not someone else is posing as the valet driver?
As for the claim check, it limits liability even in theft.
I'm very surprised if they're going to sign up a contract with a company like this who is not going to stand behind their customers.
The Rice Loft officials are working with police, but with no arrests, Mehta is left with a rental and few, if any, options.
This is not right. I want them to learn the lesson, and I want to make sure that nobody else in the future gets affected.
Now, Waze Valet has declined our request for comment. It has not returned any calls at this point. Now, HPD says they are looking for a white male between 5'8" to 6 foot, 190 pounds. They say that he will be driving a silver Toyota Camry. Now, if you do have any information, please contact Crime Stoppers. For now, downtown Levi Ismail, KHOU 11 News.
All right, be careful at the valet. Levi Ishmael, thanks so much. And new tonight, we have exclusive video captured moments after a United flight was forced to return to Bush Airport tonight after a bird strike. It happened as the plane was taking off for Calgary just after 6:30 this evening. It was just minutes after takeoff when the strike happened. The plane had to circle around the airport a few times to burn off fuel before landing. Emergency crews were called in to inspect the plane. The passengers were put on another plane to resume their trip.
All new tonight, a sinkhole opens up in the middle of the Heights. You can see crews have closed off a section of Rutland Street, blocked off at 16th because the street appears to be caving in. Brett Buffington is there tonight. Brett, hopefully no drivers found out about this the hard way.
Thankfully not, Lynn, but this sinkhole tonight is certainly the talk of this street. This is Rutland, that is West 16th, and that is the sinkhole tonight. Houston Public Works crews, they just dropped these iron plates on top of this sinkhole, but take a look at this video of what this looked like before these workers got out here and covered it up. This sinkhole, 15 feet deep at least. That's what an inspector told me about it. And he said, oddly enough, the inside of this sinkhole, the dirt is dry. Not only are they going to have to figure out why the sinkhole formed, what made it form, they're also going to have to get a contractor out here to fix it. It's not clear exactly how long that's going to take. So these metal plates that are on the ground now, you see workers here back live bolting those plates to the ground. This is a temporary fix. I did talk to neighbors earlier this afternoon. They told me they noticed the dip in the road here and the asphalt cracking Sunday. Today, though, one driver went over this, another stopped just before it as the asphalt caved in. Thankfully, though, Lynn, as you said, no one went in it. We're live in the Heights tonight. Brett Buffington, KHOU 11 News.
Thank you, Brett. New tonight, a Texas State University student has been indicted in the death of a fraternity pledge from Humboldt. 20-year-old Matthew Ellis was a sophomore and a pledge for Phi Kappa Psi. He was found dead last November after a night of drinking. An autopsy later revealed he had a blood alcohol level of 0.38. That's more than 4 times the legal limit. 23-year-old Austin Rice is now indicted for providing alcohol to someone under 21. He faces a year in jail and a $4,000 fine.
Tonight, police hope surveillance video will show what happened in the moments before a bicyclist was hit and killed by a dump truck near Rice University today. It happened at the intersection of Main and Sunset. Police say it appears the woman entered the crosswalk right as the dump truck was turning onto Main. She had just left campus after having lunch with her husband. No charges have been filed against the driver. Her identity has not been released. The crash happened in front of a memorial where another cyclist was killed in the very same spot last year.
Former President George H.W. Bush is still in the hospital tonight being treated for an infection that got into his blood. His family spokesman Jim McGrath said they would give us an update when they have something to update. And at last check, Mr. Bush was responding and recovering and determined to get well enough to go to his summer home in Maine. Well wishes are coming in from all over the country, even the White House.
We all send our prayers to the Bush family as we wish former President George H.W. Bush a very speedy recovery.
The entire region is lifting him up. And we know that we're just leaving this prayer breakfast. We know what the power of prayer can do. And this is one time when I am encouraging all of Houston to send thoughts, positive thoughts his way, to pray that God will heal him and give him the strength.
We too are hoping for a speedy recovery for Mr. Bush.
Tonight, Fort Bend County leaders have agreed to study whether it makes sense to build a levee to enclose the back of Barker Reservoir. Roughly 3,000 homes in Fort Bend County flooded during Harvey because of the reservoir overflow. A Los Angeles-based engineering firm will take the next 3 months to conduct that study. Time to talk weather. Another mild and sunny day as we look at crystal clear skies downtown Houston.
But the humidity will creep back tomorrow, but not for long, Dave.
This is the thing. It's going to creep up a little bit, but then another system's coming in to make the weekend beautiful. It's been a beautiful evening. Roofs open at Minute Maid. The Astros are playing. Come on, Stros. 72 outside right now. That dew point is at 60. It's come up a little bit, but a 60-degree dew point is still very comfortable humidity-wise and will allow temperatures to continue to drop into the 60s as we head into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 a.m. 62 degrees for you early risers tomorrow. Here's what I'm looking at. Overnight tonight, cool. Warm and breezy tomorrow. A little humid tomorrow. You may think summer's coming tomorrow. It's not. At least not yet. Another front's on the way. I've got the timing on that. We'll talk about why it's been such a long, beautiful spring here in Houston. See you in a couple of minutes.
We'll see you then. Thanks, Dave. A teenager is behind bars after being turned in by someone he didn't expect.
Yeah, his own father.
He probably is upset with me, but I'd rather him be upset with me than me burying him.
Hear why his dad says he had no choice but to call police.
A group of truck drivers look like they're clogging up traffic, but they are actually saving a life.
And 3 motorcycle riders are proving chivalry is very much alive. Their act of kindness going viral.